So I have a very uncommon background. I'd say I've been working in the health industry for about 10 years. I was a sales rep. And at one point it was not enough for me. I was finishing my bachelor's degree in economics. So it was like, well, I'm really loving the math. I'm really loving the economics. So might as well get my master's in it. I was craving to do some more numbers and data. So I dropped everything, my whole career, moved into my master's degree. About a year in, I realized I was not really into economics, and there was like this big trend that was emerging called data science. And I was like, well, this is kind of everything I love. There's data, there's modeling, there's math, and like interesting, like real world questions. So I was like, well, might as well get into it. So I rearranged my degree in order to get into like some hands-on experience in data science, and still graduated in economics. So graduated as an economist, and went into the job market to find something more data related. It was kind of hard in the first time, so I started putting myself out there. I started going to meetups, I started blogging, I started networking, and one thing led to another. I met amazing people, and I work as a data analyst now. So that's about how I got into the field. What I do is I occupy something that's in the, like kind of in between two fields. So you got this core technical team who does modeling and data and stuff, and then you got the executives who have literally no idea what's happening in the tech team. And I kind of thought my place was right in the middle, to be that bridge between those two teams, which is actually the place I feel the most comfortable with, the place I feel the happiest, and I think I really do bring value. So I kind of didn't choose that path exactly, but I think it chose me a bit. But I think it really does bring a lot of value, and it's something we don't talk about much. We really get into the technical thing a lot, but we realize, we forget actually that, well, at the end of the day, my vice president has no clue of what's a neural network doing. All he cares about is is this result going to help me make my decision? And that's what I do. The advice I'd give to a woman who's looking into the data industry is to trust herself. It's an amazing field. It could feel harsh in the first time because it's a male-dominated environment. There's a lot of place for women to grow and to learn, and just be confident. You're good enough. Really, that's what I'd say. What I wish I had known is that actually data science existed when I started my master's degree. So it's kind of like now it's out there, but I think it still needs to be brought forward, and that there's a lot of roles, and it's not because you're not really like a hardcore programmer that you cannot be in the data science field. There is other stuff going on. You don't have to be a data engineer, but you can bring value if you love data. There's room for you, and definitely there's a position you could be useful in the data world. What I think women do bring in the data science world is mostly this down-to-earth mindset, in the sense that a lot of times we get excited, we love data, we want to do the craziest stuff, and we really want to be the most cutting-edge model in this totally recent, super hardcore technology that will take 6 months to bring on and maybe not work. And sometimes I think men more than women wants to shine and bring the bright new shiny object, but usually in data science, the simpler the better. A lot of those models can be very simplistic one, answering straight to the point questions and building forward from that. And I think that's an approach women put forward more than men, and I think that's something they bring that could benefit the time to output ratio, I'd say, and bring a lot of value. Women giving mentorship, well, female-led mentorship is definitely something that's important because they have a total different standpoint than men, I'd say, because they've been through the fact that they're in a men-led industry and that they have lived through our struggles. So that I think you can have a totally different perspective if you've been mentored by a woman versus a man. And from my personal experience, I have a she's a friend, but I like to think of her as a mentor. She's an amazing data scientist. Her career skyrocketed because we graduated at the same time, and I look to her as a mentor for me. And I think it's mutual, because she comes in and she asks advice about her models and stuff, and it feels amazing to have this woman who's not only a close friend, but like who I look up to, and like she gives me advice. And I think it's so beneficial because it's a different type of relationship than what you would have with a man. Although this brings a lot too. So I wouldn't let that like totally slip apart.